Generosity. Generosity. How do you become more generous? Good morning, everybody. It's time for Morning Manna, and I got a word for you on this morning. As you remember, it's all about going deeper, and we're giving you the preview of our consecration that starts next week. You want to be a part of our consecration, 21 days, Daniel fast. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be awesome. Every day, there's going to be a text. There's going to be a conversation that will tell you about the text, and then you can respond. That's what it's going to be. Now, if you want that journal, put your email address in the chat area, and that way you can get it. Good morning, Angela. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Shajil. How are you? Praying for little Marie, praying for her. Making sure that God is covering her in prayer and healing her. Good morning, Wendy. How are you on this morning? Diane, how are you? Good morning. Grand rising to you as well, Betty. How are things in Michigan? I believe that's where it is, in Michigan. Celestine, how are you in North Kakalaki? All is well. Brandon, my frat brother, how was your holidays? How are your holidays? Good morning, Joe. Good to see you, Erica. Good to see you as well. Good to see all of you. Man, we're on the backside of the holidays. We're coming up on the new year. And I can't wait to get into the new year because we are going into 21 days of prayer and fasting. I'm going to be sharing with you a word every day out of that journal. If you want that journal, make sure you put your email address in the chat area and we will email it to you. Why will we do that? Because we want to add value to you. Let's get into the word, the text, the talk, the takeaway. Now, you already know what I'm going to ask you to do. If it's your first, second, or third time joining us, please put it in the chat area because I want to know. We want to shout you out. We want to shout you out. Amen. We want to shout you out. Yep. YouTube in the house. You're right, Erica. I am doing my best. Your bishop dad is trying to do his best to catch up with the world. Yes, you say it's cold in Michigan, Betty. Good, very good. It's warming up a little bit here. Good morning, Dr. Moore. How are you on this morning? Look, share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself. Let me get into the word. This month that we're going into, January, we're talking about going deeper. And in order for you to go deeper, there's some areas that we wanted to cover. One of them is generosity. So let's talk about that. Generosity, the text is Luke 6:38. Some of y'all can quote it. If you coach it, you already know. Like me, you can just already quote this. Give and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. Listen to this. For with the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. With the same measure that you use, it will be measured to you. Amen. Good morning, Tally Tally. Just wanted to shout out just real quick before I get into this word. There's three things I want you to grab out of this about generosity. Now, before I get into that, let me tell you what 37 says. 37 says this because we look over 37 because we're jumping into 38. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Now, we quote 638 as a giving text. But in actuality, in the context of the text, it's really talking about relationship. If you read the verses before, it's talking about relationship. And I know that when you have relationship with God, you are able to be generous in all aspects. That's why when we get to give, and it shall be or will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For with the same measure you use, it will be measured to you. Here's the first thing I want you to grab this morning. The first thing is this: measure your generosity. I want you to look at how generous you are with your time, your talent, and your treasure in every aspect, because that's what the context of the text is talking about. When you have a relationship with God, generosity should be key and keen in your heart. So measure it. How generous are you? How generous are you? Your pint size? Your gallon size? You just an ounce? Are you a whole bushel? What is it? Only you know. Here's the second thing I want you to grab. Mete out what you measure. Mete out what you measure, and you ought to be meting out much. Now, I grabbed that King James Version word, that old English word, because mete out has to do with you giving out. After you measure yourself, reflective on yourself, then look at the fact, all right, what am I giving out? What am I giving out? I will tell you right now, story, I'll come back. I struggle with holding on to things. Yeah, you thought I was going to say something else. I struggle because I'm a giver. I struggle with holding on to things. If I see someone in need, the first thing that comes to my heart, do something about it. The first thing that comes to my heart, what do I have to respond to that? Yep. So I struggle with holding on to things. Don't let me see somebody on the corner, on the freeway, on the exit ramp. I'm likely to be the person to go in my pocket and pull out something. So mete it out. Measure your generosity. The third and final thing is this: model what you want. Model what you want. Now, notice this. The text says that, and I told you, it's about relationships, keenly about the relationship you have with God. And when that relationship is intact and where it ought to be, you can model, you can model the generosity of God. When people look at us, they should see the love and the generosity of God. Shouldn't see stingy people. They shouldn't. So, what's your takeaway this morning? Your takeaway is this: if you want more from God, you're going to have to give more to God. If you want more from God, come on, you're going to have to give more to God. Hey, the Lord be with you, his face shine upon you, and give you peace. We're closing in on the end of the year. So I'll see you tomorrow morning with more Morning Manna, the last manna of the year. So make sure you join me. Share the manna. Don't keep it to yourself.